Look at any crowd on Earth and you're going to see something pretty incredible. I mean, we are one species. We have the exact same bones, the same blood, the same basic brain, and the exact same ancient family tree. And yet, human skin ranges from very dark brown to very pale pink. Why is that? Well, for thousands of years, society created all these myths, tribes, empires, and really rigid categories to try and explain it. People acted like skin color was proof of some fundamental separation between us. But biology reveals an entirely different truth. This whole thing was never about the cultural labels we use today. It was just a pure, brilliant survival response to a threat and a gift coming straight from the sky.
So, let's set the scene with part 1, the naked ape's dilemma. Our story begins way, way before nations or borders even existed. Picture this, we're in Africa, with a small, exposed, sweating ape just trying to survive under this incredibly intense tropical sun. Now, for most mammals, skin color isn't their main defense against the sun. Fur is. Fur acts as shade, and fur is essentially armor. But our ancestors made a fascinating evolutionary leap. To survive the heat of the savanna, they had to keep moving, tracking and running for hours to hunt down animals that would eventually overheat and collapse. To pull that off, they had to lose their fur so they could sweat and cool down. And this brilliantly illustrates the dangerous evolutionary trade-off early humans made. Giving up fur was a total game changer for hunting, but that incredible advantage came with a terrifying new vulnerability. Once the fur was gone, there was literally nothing standing between our ancestors' bodies and the open sky. And near the equator, sunlight is definitely not gentle. It is packed with powerful ultraviolet, or UV, radiation. Now, the sun is a life giver, sure, but in this ancient environment, it was also a massive threat. UV light is strong enough to severely burn bare skin, scramble DNA, and break down crucial molecules right inside the body. Suddenly, having bare skin meant leaving the front door wide open to a relentless solar attack.
That brings us to part 2, the dual sunlight problem.
See, the sun presented our ancestors with a massive biological puzzle. It wasn't just a simple case of, finding shade and hiding from the light. The environment forced our ancestors' bodies into a really delicate balancing act because they were facing two completely opposite, equally deadly dangers all at once. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how perfectly it breaks down that exact chemistry problem. Look at the top row, folate. This is a crucial B vitamin. Folate gets completely destroyed by too much UV radiation, and without it, early pregnancies fail and the whole population crashes. But then, look at the bottom row, vitamin D. Unlike folate, your body actually needs UVB light from the sun to create vitamin D. If you don't get enough, you get weak, soft bones, a disease called rickets, and your immune system tanks. So here's the ultimate trap. Block too much sun and you die one way. Let too much in and you die another.
And here is how our bodies fought back. Part 3, melanin, the biological shield. To pass the ultimate test of evolution, which is, surviving long enough to successfully leave descendants, our early ancestors desperately needed a way to protect their folate without completely blocking out the sun. So natural selection goes to work and favors bodies that possessed this incredible piece of biological survival tech. And that technology is melanin. Now, melanin is the pigment that gives skin its color, but it is so much more than just cosmetics. It's an ancient, microscopic, geometric shield. It literally acts as the world's very first sunscreen. It absorbs and scatters that harsh ultraviolet radiation before it can penetrate deep enough to destroy folate or wreck our DNA.
A great way to think about melanin is like a biological volume dial built right into the human body. Where UV radiation is absolutely brutal, like near the equator, you turn that dial all the way up. The more melanin your skin produces, the better protected your folate is. Our earliest ancestors almost certainly had very dark skin because they evolved in a blistering environment that demanded maximum protection. It was never about being a different kind of human. It was just an incredibly ingenious solution to a local chemical threat.
Let's move along and see how this dial shifts in part 4, migration and the melanin dial.
So over tens of thousands of years, human history becomes a massive story of movement. Groups of Homo sapiens slowly begin walking out of Africa. And as they migrate, the environment changes. They cross vast deserts, they navigate coastlines, and eventually, we're talking tens of thousands of years later, they reach cold plains and cloudy, misty northern skies. As they moved farther and farther from the equator, the rules of the sky completely flipped. The danger of too much sunlight faded away. But, a new danger took its place: too little UVB light. The sun in these northern environments was incredibly weak for most of the year. So evolution had to solve this new puzzle.
In these low UV northern skies, having the melanin dial turned all the way up actually became a massive disadvantage. That heavy biological shield was suddenly blocking the very limited sunlight the body desperately needed to make vitamin D. And without vitamin D, children's bones became soft and survival rates plummeted. So natural selection favored a gradual compromise, turning the melanin dial down. Lighter skin allowed those weak UVB rays to slip through, ensuring strong bones and continued survival in the cold.
But wait, because biology always has a twist. Part 5, the diet loophole.
Human history is messy, right? Evolution rarely follows a perfectly straight line. A lot of people mistakenly think that cold weather somehow magically bleaches skin white over time. But as we've just seen, temperature doesn't dictate skin color at all. UV radiation does. And even then, biology found a fascinating loophole that totally breaks the expected rules. We have to ask this really surprising question. If human skin turns pale in the north just to absorb more vitamin D, why on earth didn't traditional Arctic populations, people living as far north as you can physically go, become extremely pale? The survival story, it turns out, is definitely not as simple as dark in the south and light in the north.
The secret? It all comes down to their diet. Traditional Arctic diets were incredibly rich in fish and marine mammals. And it just so happens that these specific foods are absolutely packed with naturally occurring vitamin D. Because these populations were essentially eating their required vitamin D every single day, their bodies never actually needed to drastically turn down the melanin dial to let in the weak sunlight. That dietary loophole completely solved the chemistry problem for them. No pale skin required. So, the absolutely crucial point to take away from all this is that human variation is a moving balance. Sure, there are patterns, but there are no clean boxes. There was no magic border or single moment in time where one kind of human ended and another began. The concepts of white and black are modern social constructs, not biological realities. Evolution simply solved a very complex chemistry problem using different tools over thousands of generations. Race is just a cultural box that we forced over a gradual, messy, and honestly beautiful biological map.
Which brings us nicely to our final segment, Part 6, a map of ancient sunlight.
We've tracked this incredible journey of our ancestors, but what does this actually mean for us today? Let's bring this narrative right up to the present moment, to the bodies we are living in right now. The ancient rules meant that our ancestors' bodies were shaped entirely by the local skies they spent thousands of years walking under. But the modern world, we completely broke those rules. Today, we can just hop on an airplane and cross the entire planet in mere hours. Someone whose ancestors slowly adapted to weak northern mists might now be living under a harsh equatorial sun, while someone adapted to strong tropical UV might live in a cloudy, rainy northern city. We are literally walking around under skies our bodies never originally adapted to.
And that leaves us with this final, profound truth to take away. Skin color is not a ranking, and it is certainly not a border. It is a record of survival. It's the trace of vast deserts crossed, freezing winters survived, and sunlight absorbed by people who are just trying to live long enough to have children. Every single shade is a successful solution. Every human alive today is walking around with a little piece of ancient sunlight written directly on their body. Your skin is a map. So the next time you look in the mirror, ask yourself, what incredible story of ancient survival is your body carrying today?